And we should be live. Hi there, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mothers and fathers, and small farm animals. Trying a couple of new things this time with the live stream. There should be, over there, there's a box. The chat should appear there. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. So the topic of today's live stream is not quite famous. Essentially, look, here's the thing. I know that there are some people who follow me who may be looking to do YouTube at some point, whether it be now, in the future, in the past, etc. And I come from sort of a background where I can give advice. This background is as follows. So I started doing YouTube back in March of 2006. And I've been doing it on and off for, well, since then. It's like 12 years now. And I've had multiple channels over that time, multiple different things. And I'm sort of coming to a crossroads now where, I'm not quite sure what the future of this channel is, but, who knows? We'll see. So I wanted to give some advice based on my 12 plus years of experience. And I wanted to sort of talk about the things that I think are important when it comes to running a YouTube channel. Things that are important as a YouTuber, things that you should know, and things that behind the scenes most people, most viewers, most fans or followers, subscribers may never have put any thought into it that sometimes we YouTuber type people go through. So one of those things is, of course, YouTube comments, which I will, if this stream goes well, I do have some sort of mean YouTube comments I'd like to get to, but I don't know. Let me know if you want that, if you want to see that, either in the comment section down below. If this is like if you're watching this later after it's no longer live, or if you're in the live stream chat now, tell me. I'm actually gonna check chat right now, real quick, to see if. Okay, apparently, hello, Muhammad Ali, Mixmaster. Mixmaster, I'm definitely going to be producing more videos and live streams about things in the Philippines here in the next little bit. As far as when I'm going to be able to make it back there, I still don't know. Things are happening here stateside, and this live stream may give you a little bit of insight into that, or it may not. I don't know. So I appreciate the question. I get that one quite a bit. So I'm going to sort of buzz through sort of the meat of the things that I want to talk about, and we're going to talk about them a little bit more at length, hopefully later, because I know when this becomes a video, a VOD, it's a video on demand, that, how do I say, people are going to be like, get to the point! So, there are a few things that I've made some notes here on my Schmel phone. Alright. First things first, YouTube comments. When you're a YouTuber, they suck, but they can also be great. And here's what I mean by that. The community that I've attracted here on this channel, for the most part, wonderful, amazing people. And these are people that my regulars, the people who I can count on seeing. Like, for instance, Mark Anthony. Some of them are actually in here now. Muhammad Ali, Mac. You guys, along with, let's see, who else? Eric. What's the last name? Eric De La Cruz. There's a guy named Evan. And a few others. I know in my heart you guys are going to show up every video, and I appreciate it so much. Because, I don't know. Like, I do love the feeling of having a community and having people who show up and, genuinely care about the stuff that I put out. But then again, you got your people who either A, follow you just to tear you down. That's a real thing for YouTubers and content creators and people online in general. You've also got people who just happen to come across your video and they don't really listen to what you have to say. They just make a snap judgment and go, here's a white guy talking about the Philippines. He's probably talking crap. So they leave really crappy comments. Or sometimes people will misunderstand what you have to say, which is one thing. Misunderstandings, totally cool, but if they happen often enough, those people can get kind of toxic and really run you down. Or you have people who will consciously misconstrue what you have to say. Those people really get old really fast. I happen to be a big boy. I don't know if you've noticed. So I get a lot of comments about my weight, as if that's anyone's business, really. Don't get me wrong. I always love the comments like, "Hey, you looking good," or people who are like, "Hey, you look like you might have put on a pound or two." Those have no problem with. But I do get, a lot of comments dealing with my weight where it's just like, it's none of your business. Fluff off, dude. Um, you know, and, I don't know. It's just, I have no idea why some people feel that it's for them to comment on about that sort of thing. And it can be more than that. I have YouTuber / content creator friends who are really self-conscious about something like a gap in their teeth or, I don't know, just insert random thing here. And people just dive in on that and they just go, go, go. And I'm like, really? You have nothing better to do with your life, with your day, with your 35 seconds it took you to make that comment? Comment on the video. You don't necessarily have to be like, dude, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but you're missing an eye. Yes, the content creator is probably well aware of whatever physical deformities you're about to comment on. So, don't do it. And a lot of this stuff, when it comes to comments, comes from a place of people on the internet kind of seeming or assuming that they're screaming, shouting into the void, which is true sometimes. Other times, that stuff can really wear creators down. Okay, moving on, because I think I've spent a lot of, connected point. Mental health, when you're a content creator, YouTuber, whatever you want to call it, is super important. Mainly because comments do have a tendency to wear you down. Also, you have a tendency to, a lot of creators, anyway, have a tendency to way overthink things. And a lot of people who, let's say, do performance things like YouTube, etc. A lot of those people are not necessarily the most, they're not exactly people all the time. Like me personally, I am not a people person. Anything I can do to not have to people, I'll do it. I don't care if it's using the self-checkout lane at the grocery store or spending an extra 20 minutes just making sure that I can avoid people. I have nothing against people. It's just kind of awkward for me because I'm all socially inept and whatnot. Yeah. But mental health is super important. There are now like online things. You can talk to a therapist on your smartphone now. That blows my mind. But yeah, like don't neglect that. I suffer from depression and just general ickiness, and sometimes it gets to me. And those are times where you'll probably see me a lot less in the comment section, because when you're depressed, when you're in sort of a depressive spiral, it doesn't take much to push you deeper into that. So anyway, moving on. Take care of your mental health. Okay, here's one I have never been able to figure out. Reacting to fans IRL. Whether it be, like fans or followers, whatever word you want to use. So I've had over the past, many years that I've been doing this, a few situations where someone will come up to me and go, "Hey, are you Anthony Smith?" or whatever online name I was using at the time. And yeah, I'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "Oh my God, I watch your videos." And I have no idea, no clue how to deal with this. For a while, I actually used to be like, "I'm sorry." Basically apologizing for the really silly, goofy videos that I make. Um, and, I did this more when I was doing gaming and things like that because I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed what I was doing, but I also recognized that it was super silly. And I came to realize that apology of that whole like, "I'm sorry," that not only drug me down, it wasn't, I intended it as like a self-deprecating, like comment, about, how bad my content was or whatever. But I also came to realize later that I was also like doing the same thing to them. I was basically being like, the stuff that you're watching, the stuff of mine that you're watching isn't worthwhile. And I never, I mean, I didn't see it so much then as I do now. Um, hey, there's Mark Anthony. Hey, Anthony. Anthony D, how you doing? I didn't see it so much then, but I see it now that I was insulting them and their taste and things like that. But, like, I am totally not the person who can take a compliment either. Um, so, if you're going to start doing YouTube, if you're going to start being a content creator, be sure to sort of, in your mind, run over how you would react if that's going to happen. It's happened to me in the strangest places. Um, yeah. So, let's see here. Okay. Your friends probably won't get your whole YouTube channel or whatever it is you're creating and doing online. They probably won't get it or understand it. A lot of people do not understand that you can go online and create videos for the hell of it for an audience. They have no idea. My ex-wife, at first, well, for some time, was one of them. She was one of the, I can say this because I don't really think it's talking smack. She was one of those people who viewed anything online as the computer. And here's what I mean by that. When I sit down to accomplish a task, I'm not on the computer, though technically, yes, I am. I'm accomplishing a goal. I'm creating a thumbnail image. I'm using Photoshop. I'm researching, on, topics. I am, typing up a Word document. I am whatever. But she saw everything just as the default on the computer. So when I sort of tried to explain that you could create this thing online, there was a big disconnect there, and she didn't at first really get it. She also didn't necessarily understand that, a big part of my social life was online, on the computer. And I mean, when I say that, I don't mean that she didn't understand. How do I say this? Anyway, she's definitely not an online person. So, and just keep that in mind that some people, they just may never get it. And, depending on what it is you're doing, whether it be vlogs or whatever, you're probably going to have the conversation several hundred times to other people. You're going to have to go, "Yeah, so give me just a second. I need to talk to my camera for a second. Give me just a second. I got to make a note for this video I want to make." And yeah, you're going to have that conversation a lot. Like, really? It's like, yeah, you know what? It's this thing that I kind of do. It's kind of like a part-time job thing, hobby I do. whatever. So the only thing that I would tell you about that is, yes, you're going to have that conversation a lot. Don't force it. Don't be that person who, how vegans have this reputation for, letting everyone know that they're vegan within, 10 seconds of meeting them. And I'm not saying that's a fair stereotype. I don't know. I don't know a lot of vegans. I know a couple, not a lot. Just don't be that with the YouTube stuff. Don't just walk around and, I'm a YouTuber. I make content online. Don't do that. But, just be prepared to have that conversation. Okay, moving on. So, if you do vlogs or anything like that, your friends may feel that you are in work mode when you go and do stuff with them. Which is kind of, I say work mode, whether it be a hobby or whatever, So, some people will be cool with this, some people won't. You got to feel that out. You got to have the conversation. Usually, if I'm making plans with my brother or my mom or whatever, I will be like, we'll make the plans, and I'll be like, is it cool if I vlog this? Is it cool if I do X, Y, and Z? And then if there's any sort of like story elements I want to get into it, I'll let them know. I'll be like, hey, look, when we're packing the car, I'm going to need to take an extra 20 minutes to do that so I can get all the shots and all the things I want to do. Whatever the case may be, I make sure that they know ahead of time so that, I'm not holding them up and so that everything's built in. Superman, I will answer that question here in a bit. Yes, I will definitely answer that question here in a bit. Give me like 5 minutes or less. I just need to kind of get through some of this YouTube-y stuff. Is my gray box working on here? It is not. Okay, you know what? Goodbye, gray box. All right, gray box is gone. All right. So, let's see here. Yeah, just make sure that your friends and stuff, if you're doing vlog type stuff or filming in real life, make sure that they understand that, you're going to be a little bit slowed down because getting, depending on how involved it is, it's going to take you 2 to 3 times as long to do something if you're filming it. And make sure that everybody around you is cool with that. Sometimes they won't be. Sometimes you'll just have to kind of tweak things around a little bit. Let's see here. Be careful what you put out on the internet. Super important, and it's something I worry about a lot more than I probably should. And here's what I mean by that. So, when it comes to putting things out there online, there's kind of this rule of the internet. Once you put it on the internet, it's there forever. Someone can download a video you make. Someone can screenshot a tweet you send out. Somebody can whatever. Just be cautious what you put out into the world. Whether that be like personally identifying information, or whether it be I don't know, your political views, your religious views, whatever. I'm not saying don't share those things. I'm just saying if you share those things, they're out there for the whole world. And be prepared for some of the most silly, innocuous things that you put out there to strike a chord and cheese people off. I made a video about going to a firearms show in Manila, and I don't really I can't think of anything in that video that I said that was particularly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, divisive or whatever. But I still get hate comments on that video. Because people, either, something I did say, they either took the wrong way or they took the right way, but think I like meant it much more seriously than what I did, or whatever the case is. And don't get me wrong, if I had it all to do over again, I'd still make that video. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where you live, you learn. And if I would have been thinking about it at the time, I maybe would have phrased something, a couple things maybe a little bit differently. It's not because what I said was wrong in my eyes, but just to avoid the backlash and the hate and all the nastiness. All right, so I'm going to take a break right there with the YouTube stuff. I'm going to answer some comments. Yeah, okay, I'm going to make a little mark there. Go back over here to the comments. All right. Okay, so where is... Okay, Superman. Pros and cons of the Philippines. Honestly, I'm assuming you're a man because you've got the name Superman. So I'm going to call you man and dude and whatnot. So I actually went there because my marriage to my ex-wife had, we'll just say that we came to an impasse. All right. So that relationship, fell apart or whatever. And I had a job offer out there. The company that I was doing some side work for invited me out there to check out their headquarters and stuff. And so I did. Hi! So I did. And that's essentially what took me out there. And what kept me out there was the food and the people and the culture and the awesomeness. I've got videos littered all throughout this channel with tons of information. I wish I could tell it all to you right here, right now. But like, those are videos that I've spent the last year plus making, 3 years making. So, take a look back. I've got all kinds of information that I think might be helpful to you. Because my target market for this channel has always been one of 3 people. Expats looking to move to the Philippines for whatever reason. Overseas Filipino workers who are maybe a little bit nostalgic for home. And they, that kind of thing. And then people who like just travel videos or like interesting, like, it's just people who like cool shit. So, that's the 3 people that I've targeted this channel to mostly over the past year or so. And we'll get into, I'll talk about target markets here in a bit when it comes to YouTube type stuff. So, but yeah, like, I really think there should be stuff here to help you out. Yeah, the gray thing is stupid. I don't know. I'll see if I can get it to work on another live stream. Mac, what's new? Not much. Let's see, what is new? Honestly, I'm just working, just doing the day job thing. I wish I had more time to create YouTube content right now, or edit content, or get all that stuff situated. The person who normally edits my YouTube videos, who is in the Philippines, their PC is down right now, which is one of the reasons why I took the opportunity to start doing some of these live streams, because I don't want to leave my audience high and dry while they get that figured out. So I guess that's new. I'm still sort of filming some stuff. I've slowed down on filming here stateside simply because my editor is like sort of down for the count, as in like, their PC is not properly functioning. But yeah, you may still see some stuff filmed in the Philippines. and then some more stuff here filmed here stateside that might be a little bit old, coming out at some point. I don't know what is going to go on here in the next little bit. Let's see here. Sad to say I have to go. We have volleyball. Oh, nice talking to you, Mark Anthony. Okay, Superman says, yeah, I watched almost all of them because I am from the U.S. I would 110% recommend it. Honestly, right now, I mean, if I had the opportunity, like clear opportunity, not just like somebody handing me a plane ticket and I still have stuff to fix here, but, you know, if I had a clear opportunity, I would go back to the Philippines. No questions asked. But that's again if I had all my ducks in a row here stateside, which isn't gonna happen anytime soon for any long period of time. Anytime I spend in the Philippines, going forward for the next little bit is probably going to be vacation time. Like taking a week or two, going there, filming, visiting with friends and things like that, and then coming back here. Simply because of all the stuff I got to deal with here. Yeah, honestly, as far as like living there, I mean, I would be there in a heartbeat. But I do have family here. I've got responsibilities here stateside. I've got things I got to do so I can set up so that someday I can maybe go there and retire and do all that stuff there. So while I'm working on all that, my butt's firmly planted here. Would I recommend it for you? I don't know. I don't know you, but probably. It's amazing. I had an amazing time, and I can't imagine a more beautiful place in the world. I know it's personal and you don't have to answer, but what happened with your marriage? So earlier I gave a tip about being careful what information you put out into the world. This is kind of one of those things. When you have any kind of following online, you always have to be really careful what information you put out into the world, because you can very easily put out information that can cause a backlash for other people. My ex-wife and I, we didn't work. That doesn't mean that I need to go out of my way to make her life a living hell. It doesn't mean that I need to give anyone information that would, cause random internet trolls to interfere in whatever life she has now. I haven't talked to her since the divorce. And I'd kind of like to keep it that way. But, I'm sorry, but, that's just one of those responsibility things. I just don't want to talk about that. And the only reason I'm bringing it up now is because it's relevant, having to do with, sort of the YouTube discussion that we were having previously. There are other things. There are a lot of things that I've never really discussed on this channel that I'll bring them up now because I am thinking about sort of developing them into more content in the future. My grandmother, my mom's mom, was gay in a time where being gay was not cool. And until the day she died, she never admitted it. We all knew. Everyone that knew her knew. But it was just one of those things that was never talked about. And actually, this is the very first time I'm bringing it up in video, I believe. But I think there's a really good story and a good moral to be, told there. Also, I'm glad. Like there's that part of me who's like, you know what? If for even a brief moment she wasn't gay, I got to exist. And I'm happy that I got to exist. So anyways, And one of the main reasons I've never really shared that is because I know there are a lot of people out there who have nothing better to do with their lives than hate on gay people. And like, I mean, dude, that's my grandma, right? Like, I don't care. That's just my grandma. You know, don't fucking talk about my grandma. So, uh, yeah, just Anyway, moving on. Do you recommend to foreigners buying a condo there? Ooh, that's a good question. In the Philippines, I recommend. It depends on how much money you're working with, where you're looking to buy the condo, when you're looking to buy the condo. And I don't mean when as in like today, tomorrow, next year. I mean like in what phase. Because you can buy them literally before they're even built, like pre-build sales and things like that. There are a lot of factors that go into that. Also, it depends on what you're looking to do as far as are you looking to marry a local or not? Yeah, there's a lot that plays into that. So I would recommend you probably renting before you buy and getting to know the area, getting to know the country and all that stuff. If you've got, big baller money, I would not recommend you just walking up and going, BAM! Here's I'm going to pretend this is money. BAM! Take the money, I'm going to buy that condo. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend, getting to know your neighborhood, getting to know, when I say your neighborhood, a lot of time condos, they're buildings, but, get to know your building, get to know your, all that stuff first. Even if it's like in a place like, say, BGC, Eastwood, Makati, if you're doing pre-build, still, rent a condo for, 6 months or a year in the general area. Learn it before you commit. I would definitely recommend that. As far as a financial thing, yeah, financially it can make sense in some situations, but it also cannot make sense. I would recommend looking for rush sales where possible. Usually there's going to be older condos. Let's say grandma owns a condo, grandma dies, and the kids want to get rid of it right now to liquidate it. Sometimes you can pick up a really good deal that way. And you're able to own condos in the Philippines, but you can't own land unless there's sort of ways around that. But anyway, yeah. Short answer, yes, I recommend buying a condo. Long answer, do your research, make sure you know what you're getting into, and don't buy blind. Just like buying a house here in the States. Don't buy blind. Okay. Hey, will you check out my channel? I do comedy and entertainment and food challenges. I would not mind to make you laugh. Let's see here. Can I... Okay. Okay. Superman, if you can stick around for a little while, I'd love to give you some advice on this channel because I definitely have some right off the bat. Again, coming from a place of somebody who's been doing this since 2006 on and off. And also I used to work at a YouTube MCN, specifically advising channels on growth strategies and things like that. But I need to get back to the meat of this video because the people watching this as a VOD or video on demand are going to be mad at me. Alright. Advice. The next advice for a YouTube creator type person. Yeah. Stupid phone. Okay. Let's see here. Be sure that you and those around you understand the difference between you and on-screen you. This is sort of an issue that I've even had with my own mother at a couple points in my YouTube since I've been doing YouTube stuff. She would see something or, she would see a tweet or a Facebook thing, and I'm just trying to be stupid and creative and maybe a little bit edgy or whatever. And she would assume that I were on some kind of depressive spiral or, she would assume that I'm, it's a cry for help or God knows what. Um, and don't get me wrong, like that's actually amazing that she, thought, to reach out or whatever. But if you knew my mom, like if you really knew my mom, you'd know that um, she sort of has this way of like willing things into existence. Like when you start talking to her about it, you may not be depressed, but by the time you're done, she's given you enough reasons that you should be depressed that you're like, oh God, I do hate my life. um, so like I don't know, just make sure that you and like I can't tell you the number of times that I've had people walk up to me and they're like, uh, "Oh man, I can't believe you didn't know what palmettos are." I'm like, "The hell are you talking about?" Like, "Oh yeah, in that video of yours, you said you didn't know what palmettos were." The truth of the matter is, occasionally, YouTubers, myself included, we will say things specifically to get a reaction and to bait people into comments. So, for instance, if I say something along the lines of, "Oh, Don, palmetto, what the heck is a palmetto?" Yeah, there is that part of me who knows that, that it's like, yeah, sure, I know it's a fruit. I know it's kind of like a grapefruit, but like, but what is it though? But I also know if I genuinely and earnestly ask the question, I'm going to get a lot of people going, "It's a grapefruit, you dummy. It's kind of like a grapefruit, but bigger." I'm going to get those comments. But a lot of people in my personal life, they're like, "Really? You didn't know that? Really? Really?" Like, come on. Like, YouTubers, content creators, and all that, whatever word you want to use, we are all kind of playing a game. And that game is interaction. And sometimes that interaction means, you're gonna do slightly goofy stuff. You're gonna ask your audience a question you may already know the answer to, or be 99% sure you know the answer to, but you want that confirmation. You want to hear that story from them about, that time that, a pomelo saved their uncle's life, or whatever thing you want that interaction because you want to build a community. You want people to go, "Oh yeah, that's right," whatever. So yeah, just be sure that the people around you know the difference between on-screen you and you. Also, be sure that you know that too. That kind of goes back to the mental health thing. Um, you can kind of get lost a little bit in like the slightly different on version of you. So don't do that where possible. Your channel can own you. It can help inform your decisions and your mood and your everything. A good example of this is right, up until I moved back to the States, this channel had pretty much been solely about the Philippines. When I came back, I knew in my heart that I would not be able to make videos in the Philippines for the rest of my life because obviously I'm here now, So I had to make that jump. I had to figure out, how I was going to sort of, I've got this large audience who, large, relatively speaking, who is interested about this content. How do I continue satisfying them without alienating them? And still working on that one. But yeah, let's see. Next tip / advice. Keeping up with the platform, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform it is. It takes time and it sucks. Let's see here. So, I can't tell you the number of like times a week I Google, for news about YouTube, what's going on, what are the trends, the amount of YouTube videos I watch, um, other people in my sort of like little group of content creators, finding out what they're up to, that kind of thing. It takes a lot of freaking time, and sometimes just it can kill you with the amount of information, the amount of just that's out there. um so yes, it's something you're going to have to do, but invest a little bit of time in working out something that's going to make that work for you. um and don't stress too much about it. I know that's easier said than done, but let's see here. You may, over time, as a YouTube content creator, whatever you want to call yourself, um, sort of grow to have this feeling of requirement for your followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them. Like, oh man, I haven't uploaded this week. I'm letting them down. Sorry, didn't mean to shake the table on you like that. I haven't uploaded this week. I'm letting them down. Or, in a case like mine, like, man, I gotta leave the Philippines, but my content's been primarily about the Philippines. How am I gonna deal with this? Like, yes, your followers, your fans, whatever, they are the community you've built, and you don't want to alienate them. And I want to be careful how I say this. Yes, you owe your fans, followers, subscribers, whatever, a lot. But you don't owe them an explanation about things that are outside of your control. Now, if you want to tell them, that's great. You want to be like, yo, my grandma died, sorry, whatever. That's great. But I guess when it comes to that stuff, don't allow yourself to beat yourself up for things that are out of your control, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's okay to feel like, to have a sense of requirement to them. That's fine, but don't let that kill you mentally, physically, whatever. I've seen a lot of creators go down that hole. Don't get cocky. Here's the next one. A lot of content creators I've known over the years, they hit 100,000 or 1,000,000 or 10 million subscribers, whatever, and all of a sudden, oh, they're tough shit. Yeah. No, don't get cocky. Also, don't get too big for your britches either. Don't ever forget where you came from. If you've got a good opportunity to work with someone who's going to make your content better, do like a collaboration or something like that, and you're like, well, you've only got 500 subscribers. What are you going to do for me? Look at the freaking content. Look what they're doing. What can you envision them doing in this collaboration? My God, be creative. I have worked with so many YouTubers over the years, both while I was working at the MCN and just freelance in general. And a lot of them will be like, well, I'm a gaming channel, and this person that wanted to work with me is a vlogger. We can't work together. No, fudge that. If you have a good enough imagination, you can find a way to make it work. There are probably some things that are incompatible, and some things that for political reasons you probably shouldn't work with, other creators on certain things. Sure, that I get. But, I hear a lot of people just making BS excuses. Don't do that. Don't get cocky. Don't get too big for your britches. Yeah, that's my advice there. Okay, so I am going to pause the YouTube advice here for a second, go back to the comments. Gustavo says, thank you for your information about the condo. By the way, how much money do you make from a year on YouTube? That's one of the things that I don't really talk about. I can say this. It's not even a part-time job. I don't, between YouTube and Patreon, I don't even make enough for it to be considered a part-time job. I do this because I like it. I do this because I love it. Let's see here. No, that's not always been the case. I have made a living off of YouTube channels. But this one, not so much. This one's just a hobby. Let's see here. Superman says, will do. And yeah, that was my very first video I ever made, but I've gotten a lot better since then. Cool. I will take a look at that here in just a bit. I've only got three more tip things, which we're gonna get back into right now. Am I still broadcasting? Can somebody in the chat just type just something random? Let me know you're still there. Let's see, does it even tell me how many people are watching currently? I don't think it does. Yeah, I have no idea how many people I'm broadcasting to at the moment. Maybe if I go and do this. Alright, 5 people watching now. Okay, cool. Let's see if anybody said anything in chat. Yes, okay, cool. Alright, so next things. Do not turn down valuable opportunities. So I already sort of covered this when I was talking about collaborations and getting too big for your britches, things like that. For those people outside the US, I don't know if you use the word britches or not, but essentially it means pants. Like, don't get too big for your pants. Basically, don't get cocky. It's just a different way of saying that. I already said, don't forget where you came from. Oh, okay. So we were talking earlier about what were we talking about? Okay, keeping your target audience in mind. Now, when I decided I was going to start taking this channel seriously, about a year ago, I think it was like March of last year. March, May, it was an M month or something like that. What I did was I sat down with a piece of paper and I said, okay, who is my target audience? And I came up with 3 potential target audiences. And I suggest if you want to get into YouTube, you do this as well. But of course, your things may vary. So, target audience. My target audience is male between the ages of like 25 and like retirement age. There's a reason for that swing, and you'll see why here in a minute. But definitely swing male. And I've got some female fans. Hi. And that's great. I'm glad that I've got those. But, that wasn't who I was aiming for. Those are just the collateral people who are like, yeah, he's cool. And you'll get those. And that's awesome. That's fine too. So, males between the ages of about 20 to retirement age. Overseas Filipino workers who want to see what's going on in the Philippines. They want to be caught up. They want to see whatever. They want to see foreigners in their land as they are foreigners in another land. There is that kinship there. Also, expats looking to retire in the Philippines. and then people who just like cool shit. That's going to be your people who like travel stuff, your people who, you know, sort of want to see the world a little bit, but they can't for whatever reason. So those are my three. And every video that I've made for the past year and a half almost has been aimed at one or more of those. And also I set aside like a group of like, you know, 10 different sort of emotional or mental or whatever triggers. And if I could do like 3 on this row and 4 on this row, I knew I had a good video on my hands. I had a video that people would enjoy in my target market. So, for instance, one of them that just comes to mind, I don't have the information in front of me, but one that I remember is like anything that could be or sort of attributed to Filipino pride. The Filipinos, speaking very generally and in my limited experience, you know, though a lot of people will recognize that, you know, things are not perfect, they, you know, they do love to take pride in their country, in their, you know, in their culture, etc. So, you know, a lot of times I would look at this like, you know, is this something that, you know, would make people who are outside the Philippines or inside the Philippines proud? Is this something that, you know, would, you know, make other people feel like, oh my God, you know, yeah, like, you know, would they identify with it that way? And if it was, and they also, you know, ticked off a few other boxes, I'm like, okay, then I know this is a good video to make. And yeah, I probably made some other videos that didn't quite tick off as many of these boxes. But, you know, having that system of sort of checks and balances really, really helped me stay true to the people I was trying to talk to. So if you're a YouTube creator or you want to be one or, you know, whatever, I do suggest sitting down and just trying to figure out who it is you're trying to talk to. You know, what groups, what are they into, what do they like, you know, how do they feel about certain things. And I'm not saying to be something you're not, definitely not that. But knowing who you're talking to can help shape your message in a way that, you know, makes it feel like you're actually talking to a person. And that's kind of important. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So we are about an hour into this. I have no idea if... Okay, so I'm going to let my viewers right now decide. Do you want to get into mean YouTube comments? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Let me know in the comments, or let me know in the live chat right now. Are we going to get into mean comments, or am I going to do that another stream? Yes, no, maybe. Tech for Your Needs says yes. Anthony D says there are. Haha. I'm confused by that. Hello, Tech for Your Needs. Okay, we got 6 people watching currently. I've got 2 responses so far. Okay, so I think we're going to hold off and we're going to do the mean comments another time. So, okay. What I will do What I will do before I sort of end this stream is, in keeping with my own advice, I'm not going to be too big for my britches, and I am actually going to take a look at let's see here. No. I'm going to take a look at Superman's channel here. I'm going to give some very surface level advice. Very surface level. Boom. Hey, there we go. So we're gonna sort of minimize this, put it over here. Oh wait, over here, and wait. Ah, okay. I gotta get better at this. Sorry. Okay. So, I am going to actually, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at this. So this is Superman's channel. I would suggest figuring something out as far as your art here, because Naruto, though awesome, yes, I admit Naruto's awesome. It probably doesn't speak to who you are and what you do as well as you think it might. I mean, I don't know. Just try to find something that works for you better, or look into Photoshop, see what you can do. You've got a channel trailer type thing going on here. That's nice. Appreciate that. That's awesome. You don't have playlists here. You should probably put some playlists here and other things. Sort of guide people towards what you want them to see. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So I'm seeing some YouTuber face here. And that's not necessarily the world's worst thing. But there are only a few that I personally find click compelling. Things that make me actually wonder what's going on here. This one I would normally click on. I'm not going to during this video, mainly because I don't know if you use music that I don't have the rights to. Also, there's always that chance that maybe later on you decide you don't like me. You can always try to put a strike on my channel for playing yours during my live stream or something. Who knows? So yeah, not going to do that. But, so this one, I would definitely click on. This one, so there's some incongruity here going on. This face right here tells me, that you're like doing something sassy, you're, whatever. But the title is Scary Things That Happen When You're Home Alone. I'm thinking maybe these are the auto-generated thumbnails, or you've just very selectively chosen or the thumbnails that show emotion, which that's great, but you need to make sure that you're actually conveying the emotion that, goes with your titles. This one, that's a good YouTuber face. That's a good YouTuber face. This one can be, depending on what you're talking about, the emotions you're looking to convey. So I'm seeing here you've used text in some of your stuff. I would suggest um, either A, limit text to a minimum, B, don't use text. Um, but definitely, if you're going to use text, make sure it's more readable than this. So here's something that a lot of people miss. So um, here, this is really, really hard to read even at this size. But this isn't even the smallest that thumbnails can show up on YouTube. If you're looking at it on your phone, something like even this one, I think it says, people argue, okay? Even on my 1080p display, I had to get down there and really see what that said. I kind of like what you did here. First job ever. Worst beating ever. No, I don't know how to take that. I kind of like what you're doing on some of these. You're choosing, like decent places to put your text. What you may want to do is take a few minutes in Photoshop. You've noticed that there's a white border around my thumbnails, and sometimes there's a thicker border on one side where I put text when I need to. That's just something I whipped up really quickly in Photoshop. You could do something very similar with a color scheme of your choosing so that you've got that flexibility when you need it. It served me very well, and it may also you. Yeah, so that's really all I kind of want to comment about right this second without actually watching the videos, which I don't want to do right now for copyright reasons. But yeah, so I am going to go ahead and hide that there so I can go over here and view comments. Okay. Let's see here. I want to know more about real estate in the Philippines. Without having direct questions, I don't really know what to tell you. But hey, great part is you can leave a comment on any of my YouTube videos, specifically asking any specific question. I'll gladly answer it. Or my email is on the About page of my YouTube channel. You can email me anytime. I sometimes get back to those within a couple days or a week or so, depending. Sometimes it's the same day. I don't know. All right. How do you Photoshop? Okay, Superman, I suggest you check out a plugin for YouTube called TubeBuddy. I sort of use TubeBuddy to sort of piece some of my stuff together. It's great. It served me really well. As far as Photoshop, there are umpteen billion YouTube videos out there that can teach you that. I am not qualified. I am not that guy. All right. Anyways, I hope this video has been helpful for you, this live stream. If it has, let me know in the comment section down the chat section over wherever. Till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things that make me love my job. Because I really, really do. I do. Because, I don't know. Kind of going back to what I said earlier. Oh, Randy's here. I didn't even see Randy. How you doing, Randy? Just because I know there are people I know I can count on to see. I have a community. I mean, I can't even say I have a community. Because we are a community. It's all of us. And, the fact that there are this many people, that I know I can count on, that I know I can see every single time I do a video or a live stream, that just means the freaking world to me. I just kind of wanted to say that. Thank you. I'm being kind of sappy, aren't I? Okay, let's see if I can get this. Till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things that make me love my job. Also, be awesome to yourself and amazing to each other. Bye. By the way, it's like 1 a.m. my time. Yeah, just letting you know. Stayed up till 1 a.m. just to say hi to you guys. Make a video, live stream thing. Alright. At this point, I'm just kind of waiting up a few seconds here. Waiting up a few seconds. Alright. Bye. I'll try to do another one of these this upcoming week. Maybe 2 or 3. I don't know.